Hello and welcome. This is Panda of Momoshima, also known as Island of Peaches. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. Today I will be showing you how I decorate my flea market. I'm going to go ahead, open up Island Designer, and start laying out my paths. I pretty much want my flea market to lead into the secret beach. As you can see, I already have some items laid out. And quick shout out to Stitches for being my emotional support during this whole build. And pretty much what I'm going to be doing, I'll be placing some custom design paths onto the brick just to give it more of that city look to my flea market. And I'll also be placing a lot of random objects in this build just to give it more of that cluttered feeling. And the best part about flea markets, you can literally find everything there. And I mean everything. And for this build, you're going to need a lot of stalls and some marketplace decorations. So here you see me placing the stalls kind of in a staggered position. Even though I want it to be cluttered and filled with items, I still want you to be able to see whatever products each stall has. A tip when it comes to decorating your flea market is setting a theme for each stall. So for instance, here I am making like a little plant shop. And while we're on the subject of plants, can we mention the fact that they're giving us so much more in this new update? I mean, they're even putting in a whole greenhouse and different flower beds. I cannot express to you guys how excited I am for this. And just all the food items we're gonna get, it's gonna take all the creations that people have been doing to a whole nother level, and I just can't wait to see what people come up with. I do want to go ahead and apologize in advance just because I noticed that my video kind of glitched out, so I ended up clipping it. But pretty much what I'm doing is customizing a stall to make a little ramen area. My favorite thing to do after shopping all day at a flea market is to get a nice bowl of ramen. Leave a comment down below. What is your favorite food at the moment? I have been craving some ramen and some sushi. So before I lay down the paths in the second tier, I like to place some of the stall items just so I can see how the layout will look and I can plan ahead before placing all the paths just to take them off if I'm not like happy with them. And pretty much what I'm doing here is customizing some more stalls just to give the flea market a little bit more variety and some color. Here I'm just making sure that the path fits perfectly underneath the stalls. So something I would suggest is to place a few stalls somewhere in the center of the flea market just to close up the area and make it feel more cluttered. Honestly, majority of this video is just me running back and forth from home to shop just because I need to pick up so many more items to fill up the area. And when you're giving a theme to each stall, you want to keep the items sort of relative and don't overthink a theme. Just keep it broad and general, something that you can easily collect items for. Another tip when it comes to decorating flea markets is the attention of small detail. Placing some folding chairs and boxes makes it feel more cluttered. One of my favorite things about a flea market is being able to pick up some organic fruits and vegetables. So, I had to dedicate a whole stall to that. I want my island to have that city feel to it, so I'm just placing some utility poles and figuring out which street lamps I feel like would suit best for each spot. And honestly, I play Animal Crossing once the sun sets. I am not an early person whatsoever, so I decided to fill my island up with a bunch of street lamps and other different sources of light. And I can't express to you guys how excited I am that they're bringing back ordinances because I am such a night owl. And to have my villagers be out in the night with me brings me back so much joy. And I never understood the logic of lazy villagers being the first one up and going to bed so early. I mean, me as a lazy person, I like to sleep and stay up all night. So the fact that all of my villagers can hang out with me past 9 o'clock, it's just something I've been looking forward to for since like the whole year. I'm also going to be placing a little clothing stall because I feel like that is such a key thing when it comes to a flea market is just finding all like the vintage clothing or like all the handmade stuff that they're selling there. Can we also talk about this cool garden gnome that they have in this game? I mean, to me, he looks like a bodyguard that will ask you for the password every time you go through like Red Secret Beach. Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said majority of this video will probably be me going back to my house just to get more items. Again, going for that cluttered look. Can we also talk about the candle collection in this game? Now, as if I didn't have a large collection of candles at home, I want to know what every candle smells like in this game. Like, it's a must. So once I feel satisfied with how stalls are coming out in the second tier, I will put them back into my pocket and start placing down the paths, just so I have an idea of how I want everything to look like. And the thing I love about building flea markets and Animal Crossing is the amount of freedom that you have. There is no right or wrong placement of items. It's just going by however you feel is right, whatever makes your heart sing. And if you guys haven't done so already, please leave a thumbs up for my video and feel free to subscribe to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video and I am so excited to be starting this journey off with you guys. And if you guys are like me and have been waiting for a sign to start that thing that you've always wanted to do, let this be it. I have been wanting to create a YouTube channel for the longest time and I just kept making excuses and prolonging and just had my own setbacks until I was like, you know what? What am I waiting for? Let today be that day. Go ahead and conquer the world. Okay, can we talk about this stall? After like staring it for like a few minutes, really makes me crave some ramen. And can I say, there is no such thing as too many stalls at a flea market. I also figured that since my flea market is so close to the beach and I actually have space on the stones, that I would just make a fish market. Now I'm just adding some small details to just fill in the space. I actually went ahead and changed up the placement of the neon sign. I felt like that specific location didn't really glow as much as I wanted it to. So instead of the neon sign, I did put up another marketplace decoration and placed the neon sign more towards the middle of the flea market so you can see more of that ambience light from it. Hands up to those who shamelessly place their flowers on their beaches so they just don't continue to sprout more. One way to decorate your beaches on your island is to make it into an eating area. Place a kotatsu table, and now you can enjoy some freshly cooked fish on your island with some friends. And honestly, I can't believe I almost like missed out on this. I completely forgot that we got those items back in August. So I decided to make a stall just for the cotton candy and the boba tea. And I know this is a long shot, but like how cool would it be if we're actually able to go through spaces, not just in our home that are crammed, but outdoors too? Because I don't want to compromise good seating areas just because there's quote unquote no space to get through. And honestly, looking at all that boba tea made me crave it even more than I normally do. And here I am building my last stall. I feel like at every flea market, you can always get a fresh jar of organic honey. It's like a necessity to get at a flea market. Don't you just love that moment when you think you've got everything in your pockets? You leave your house and you're just like, oh, wait, I just remembered about something last minute. Run back in just to grab it. Always happens. And pretty much here, I am just finalizing a few minor details, placing the items where I felt like they belonged. I did notice that towards the middle of the flea market felt a little bit empty, but honestly, it's nothing that really bothered me. If I feel like it, I can always add stuff as I go down the line. But I went ahead, I built the incline towards the right side so you can go up to the second tier and switch up the position of the neon sign. And here's the final product of the flea market. I caught this perfect moment right before the street lamps turn on, just so you can see just how they make the island glow. Wasn't that just wholesome? Literally the serotonin that I needed. So I went ahead and I inserted a few clips to show you what it's like to walk through the flea market. To get a feel from all the ambient lights and the clutterness that you're surrounded by, shopping to your heart's galore, and then being able to get your favorite dish afterwards. It really is such a vibe. I hope these tips and tricks find you well and that you're able to create a flea market that you've always wanted to walk through and spend all of your money in. And don't forget, there are no rules when it comes to creating. You have that creative freedom to put whatever you want on your island. It all just depends on the setting that you want to place everything in and pretty much what mood you want to give off. So, to wrap this up, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I hope you find fulfillment on your island as I try to find mine. See you guys in the next video.